What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Cinema Essentials. This episode is called Otis, named after the 8 Fox River escapees searching for D.B. Cooper's money. Otis is an old German term that means the same as the English word wealth, referring to riches or fortune. If you're ready, let's start Season 2, Episode 2. I'm your host Theo. Sitting on a small bench in the backyard garden, Detective Mahone listens intently to a phone call from FBI headquarters. They've tracked some escapees near the Canadian-Mexican border. The Mexican border area, within a 50-mile radius of a gas station, needs to be searched thoroughly. Fox River inmates will be caught soon, Mahone assures them before hanging up. After the call, he gets up from the bench and stares intensely at the decorative water fountain in the yard. Wearing a blue cap and dressed smartly, Michael Scofield sits at bench, looking at the front page of the newspaper showing photos of the prison escapees, while someone family prepares breakfast around him. A man carrying boxes and supplies from a car catches Michael's attention as he sits on the bench, deciding it's time to take action, somewhere unknown. Whether it's Fort Wayne, Indiana, or some ethnic village Lincoln, C-Note and Sucre debate whether they should eat mountain chicken or enjoy croissants with the local ladies playing cards. Lincoln prefers the ladies, calling deviled eggs feta soup. At this moment, Scofield returns with a large bags of samosa he stole from a 73rd Street tea shop. Since everyone's hungry, they treat it like KFC fried chicken and eat the samosa straight without any sauce. The best food in life might be stealing someone else's meal when you're starving. That taste is probably the best. While Scofield's group enjoys the fried samosa with salt and pepper, Theo's script writer also grabs 2 packets of noodles nearby, mixing them with hot water. After everyone finishes eating, Scofield gives Sucre and C-Note some money, saying they should all part ways here. He gives Abruzzi only $1 enough for a phone call without revealing Fibonacci's location. When Sucre asks about the others, C-Note says everyone's just looking out for themselves. Abruzzi mentions that T-Bag was left behind with a severed hand. He could die. In the medical clinic, T-Bag endures the pain of getting his completely severed finger stitched without anesthesia. He asks the doctor if it's finished. Only when the doctor says it's all done and T-Bag looks at his reattached hand does he lose control and vomit. Scofield says since everyone's ready, they'll head to Utah first, then to Mexico. But Lincoln says LJ has a court hearing today. He just became a bachelor and Veronica died. I can't lose my son. LJ is charged with 2 murders. Scofield explains his original plan didn't include rescuing LJ, so they should wait for things to calm down. Acting without a plan would be disastrous. I love my nephew. I won't abandon him, he says. At this moment, C-Note and the other 2 are about to go separate ways. The 2 brothers have a moment to talk and say goodbye. Scofield wishes Sucre, who was his cellmate and became his best friend, well in finding peace with his girlfriend. Then he turns to Lincoln and asks everything he knows about the courthouse. Bellick walks through the prison corridors holding a coffee cup when a guard asks about the situation. Are they close to catching all 8 escapees? Bellick, irritated from not sleeping all night, responds rudely. The warden arrives and says the FBI has taken over the case of catching the escapees. Both Bellick and the warden are removed from the capture operation. The Supreme Court will decide what to say. All current operations are stopped. They're going to the Supreme Court. At FBI headquarters, photos of all 8 escapees are posted with the latest information below each photo. Everyone in the office is told to review them when possible. Looking around nervously, Tweener walks like a lost soul when someone talking on the phone from the east deliberately bumps into him and steals his wallet. The thief stops near a phone booth to check what's inside the wallet. Lincoln and Scofield calmly walk into the subway where Scofield had prearranged a car. Lincoln pretends to be a reporter asking about L.J. Burroughs' examination, wanting to know the court schedule for timely news coverage. DOC officers tell the warden and Bellick about Scofield's special privileges, and that all the escapees were PI workers. They ask Bellick if he sold out the PI business to the highest bidder in prison. As the warden tries to defend his subordinate, Gary, whom the warden himself had fired for theft and embezzlement, surprisingly enters the room. Sitting calmly on a chair, Gary reveals everything to the DOC officers' questions, including selling out John Abruzzi for the highest bid for PI work rights. The DOC officers ask the warden and Bellick to wait outside. Bellick stares at Gary with wide, unblinking eyes before leaving with the warden. A kind doctor treats T-Bag's severed hand, cleans and bandages it properly, gives him pain medication, and recommends hospital treatment since the bone is slightly crooked. But Teabag, who always repays kindness with cruelty, ties up the doctor to an examination table with rope. The doctor says that evil people never find eternal happiness. But the crazy Teabag calmly injects the doctor with an unknown drug, causing him to lose consciousness immediately. Teabag continues staring at the unconscious doctor with his usual contemptuous attitude. Police officer brings out L.J. Burrows while Detective Mahone reads case files. Mahone introduces himself as F.B.I., explaining he's there on official duty. I'm really impressed with your father and uncle's prison break. I've been a detective for 14 years. Most escapees get lucky and go free. This time, with modern technology and major planning, 8 people managed to escape. Professionally speaking, I admire your father and uncle. Please help me recapture your father and uncle. There's another way if you speak on TV. We can get a film crew here within half an hour. LJ responds, do you know the murder charges against my father and the double murder charges against me are all framed by those at the top? Since you're also a government person, I have nothing to say. The veteran detective calmly says, you're only 16 years old. You have a long road ahead. Your father and uncle won't serve prison time for you. It's time to think for yourself how many years in prison. Which prison? I want to recapture your uncle and father, and I want to negotiate with you. While waiting in line to buy bus tickets, a boy standing behind Tweener says, haven't I seen you before? Didn't you attend Shanghai Maritime University as a freshman last year? Tweener replies, what are you talking about? I only scored 240 points on 10th grade. Don't mention Shanghai. I couldn't even get into Western universities for engineering. The ticket seller woman with chocolate-colored skin asks where they're going. Utah State, Tweener says. While she processes the transaction, Tweener nervously looks around and sees the front page of a newspaper an old man is reading shows photos of the 8 Fox River escapees. Panicked, he runs away from the counter. Sitting in a car, using Nick Saverin's name and Veronica's bar number, Lincoln calls the courthouse. My client wants to speak with L.J. Burrows. L.J., experienced now, doesn't call his father by name but asks, how are you, Nick Saverin? How's the situation? My father's case is too big, so they'll try my case first. If found guilty, I'll be sent to Montague Juvenile Detention Center. Veronica didn't show up either. The court appointed someone. FBI agents came asking about father's case. Lincoln says, listen carefully to what I'm about to say. On the 3rd floor, pay attention to Otis Wright, meaning pay attention to the right side of the elevator. On the 3rd floor, Otis is an elevator company name. While buying necessary supplies and saying they need to go to another store, Lincoln throws his phone out of the car to prevent police tracking. At a grocery store on the city outskirts, while Michael shops inside, Lincoln waits outside and is noticed by a woman with a small dog. Inside the store, the very friendly shop owner asks Michael what he needs: python, cobra, or king cobra. While Michael looks around for supplies, Lincoln sees a police car approaching and quietly enters the store to find Michael, saying, police car coming. We need to leave now. They quietly exit through the store's back door. Seeing more police cars arriving, they abandon their car. With new haircut, changed appearance, and new clothes, Tweener calmly walks through Western University campus, pretending to be a student. He takes a small notice from a bulletin board seeking someone to share gas costs to Utah State and puts it in his bag. After the DOC officers make their decision, they call the warden and Bellick back into the room. The warden gets salary reduction punishment, and Captain Brad Bellick is immediately fired from his prison officer position for selling out F.B.I. They're told to confiscate all remaining Fox River property. Bellick says he's worked at Fox River since age 18. Being a prison officer is his life. The warden says the prison break is Michael Scofield's responsibility, not Brad Bellick's. If they insist someone must take responsibility, don't fire just Bellick. I'll resign too, the warden says, leaving the room. A decent man who follows protocol, but also looks after his subordinates. Unlike that worthless piece of trash, the two brothers walk together. The plan to rescue LJ won't work. If you go back to Fox River, I can't save you either. You know I'm the muscle, you're the brain, Lincoln says. Michael doesn't respond, just looks at his brother, assesses the courthouse situation, and simply says, let's go. The doctor has passed into eternal sleep, while Teabag treats the medical clinic like his home, washing his hair. This is the lovely Teabag we all love so much. Detective Mahone approaches L.J. Burrows and says Nick Saverin called. But actually, we knew Nick Saverin was dead in his apartment about an hour before you called. He plays a recording of LJ and his father's conversation, asking, who is Otis Wright? LJ asks, what do you want to do? Frame me with more charges? Good, since you're being stubborn. After the court trial and verdict, I'll be in that courtroom until every word comes out of you. Mahone threatens. Lincoln and Michael climb to the courthouse roof from another building. While Lincoln opens the roof access and prepares to drop rope, Michael paints an Arsenal toy gun with black paint to make it look real. Love you for this. Don't be mad at the Gunner fans. LJ and a guard come out to the elevator while Detective Mahone follows, talking on the phone with an unknown contact. LJ remembers his father's words about third floor, Otis Wright, and looks at the elevator. Understanding the message, when the left elevator opens, he says, wait a moment, and sits down to tie his shoelaces, buying time. Mahone wonders what this kid is planning while noticing the Otis name on the elevator. Before the elevator closes, he follows LJ inside. Soon, the elevator's emergency hatch opens and Lincoln aims his gun down, telling the big guy to stay calm. Don't think about drawing your gun, instructing LJ to press the emergency stop button. Scofield orders LJ to hand over Mahone's gun. Once Scofield has the gun, Lincoln tries to pull LJ up, but the toy Arsenal gun falls, and Mahone realizes it's a water gun. He grabs LJ from below to prevent him from going up. When the elevator opens, Mahone shouts, Scofield is in this building. Catch him. Michael and Lincoln escape, running to an inmate transport van parked in front of the courthouse and drive away. Bellick, who worked as CO since age 18 for many years, packs his belongings and returns home, looking very sad. His mother opens the door asking why he's home so early. Didn't they catch the escapees? Bellick, having lost his job, says he's taking unpaid leave. He's mentally and physically exhausted. He kisses his mother. The warden also returns to his office to pack, while looking at his badge, feeling nostalgic about the old times. He wishes he could turn back time and start everything over. Getting angry, he grabs a fire extinguisher and destroys everything, releasing his emotions. Teabag enjoys the doctor's clinic like his own home, bathing and wearing the doctor's clothes. With full confidence, he takes the doctor's car and drives toward Utah State to get the $5 million. A young girl approaches S2E2 reading the newspaper. Did you call me? Good thing nobody else contacted me. I'm preparing to return to Utah. Do you live in Utah State? The innocent Karen girl apparently hasn't read the newspaper yet and doesn't know S2E2 is an escaped convict. S2E2 lies, saying he's not from Utah State but needs to go urgently because his father's uncle's 8th cousin grandmother died, leaving him 3 acres of land and 12 cows to inherit. The girl agrees to give him a ride, having lost his job due to the case. Bellick has no pension prospects. Feeling depressed, he loads his shotgun at home, planning suicide. His mother watching TV outside mentions they're offering reward money for catching the escapees. When he asks how much, she says $100,000 each, $300,000 total. This makes him abandon his suicide plan. Using a typical Hollywood action movie move, a police officer jumps from a car shouting. But when they check the vehicle Scofield's team was driving, nobody is inside. Michael and Lincoln escaped on foot, but at one point Lincoln says he can't continue. Michael looks and sees Lincoln's thigh has a gaping wound from their elevator encounter, bleeding heavily. Michael tightly bandages the wound with a handkerchief to stop excessive bleeding. LJ Burrows is put on a transport vehicle by courthouse guards to be sent to Montague Juvenile Detention Center. While police investigate, Detective Mahone arrives and says they found lots of blood in the escape vehicle. These guys might go to a nearby hospital. If they don't get medical treatment with this much blood loss, they'll die. And there, audience, tomorrow's episode awaits you. This series will be presented daily, 1 part each day, so please like and subscribe to the Cinema Essentials channel. To all our supportive audience, may you have mental health and physical prosperity. Thank you all for watching until the end.